everyone. I am Dr. Kristen, and welcome to my world, which is the name of the series, but also this incredible privilege I have to chat to people who are different than me in an effort to build empathy and understanding and just maybe figure out a way for all humans to get along a little bit cohesively. Because that is the mission of Abbey Research, the company that I am a part of. And our deep hope is that which is backed by a lot of social science research, to be completely honest, is that the more we understand each other, the easier it is to actually productively get along. So in service to that, this series allows me to talk to different people about their expertise and their stories and their passions, and folks that you may, as a viewer, never come across. And as soon as I find somebody fascinating, I snatch them to make sure that in case I never come across them again, we get a chance to learn from them. Lynelle today is a little bit of an exception for that. We are both in the same community of speakers and aspiring support community called the Big Talk Membership, which it will be linked in the show notes because I always do when I talk to somebody who's a fellow member of the Big Talk. And I have an incredible privilege of seeing somebody who is 19 and thinking of my 19-year-old self and saying, man, I wish I had been friends with Lynelle then. So Lynelle is a multi-passionate 19-year-old copywriter, public speaker, and lifelong learner who loves personal growth and development. God bless you. As a copywriter, she specializes in email marketing as she helps growth-minded entrepreneurs write and send consistent emails to their email list subscribers so they can leverage their email list and inspire their subscribers to take action. Lynelle, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
I love this. Email is boring to so many people, and yet it is like your passion. How did you get into this? Talk to me about this.
Yeah, so emails for me, it's actually something that lights me up. Like we're in sometimes in a weird way because as you said, it can come across as boring to some people, but ever since I was a kid, I've always loved writing. I Before I came into copywriting, I have been a creative writer for more than 5 years now. And actually it was last year that I got into the world of copywriting. And at first I was doing general copywriting for social media, for websites and emails until I have realized that writing emails is what light me up really because it's not about just writing, it's also about nurturing those relationships with those people and helping my clients to have that connection, like one-on-one connection with their subscribers. And because in our world today we are more connected, and even though we are miles away, like for example, I am in the Philippines and you're in the United States, but then technology and our, like, these tools like emails, it helps us convey our message. And as you said, it's really inspiring these people to take action to improve their lives, to level up their lives, and that's what makes me love email marketing.
I love it. So, just really quickly, for anybody who's not familiar, can you tell us what copywriting actually is?
Absolutely. So, copywriting, like a description of copywriting, like one of my favorite descriptions of it is closing in print. And
Oh,
closing is actually just another term for selling. And it is basically, if you hop on sales calls with people, so that's what you call closing. But copywriting is when you close in print through the text that you write and you tell people about who you are, what your products stand for, and what your company stands for. And then you persuade them to also be a part of what you are building. And so when you close them in print, that could either be joining your community and buying your products. Like, for example, one of my clients, she is selling planners as her products for her e-commerce store. And I help her nurture her relationships with her customers and with her subscribers, also with her fans, so that when she has something to offer to them,
mhm.
they would be able to um, they would be able to buy that planner that would help them make their lives easier. And that's on a like a low ticket offers. But when it comes to like the high ticket offers, like for example, like coaching programs and training programs, those are more of the things that we would need to have like a sequence for in the emails, because it would need a lot more of information to tell the people, like the ideal customers, the ideal clients, and to know what they're really investing in. Because our businesses is not just to earn money, it's really to impact people and make their lives better. That's what I believe in.
This is fascinating because it's a really, I want to unpack that whole idea of like longer emails or a lead for a minute, because I
Hmm.
think a lot of us who interact with brands, we're used to the like sale emails from Old Navy. And like there's 45 million, emails I get from Target or from Marks and Spencer's or from somebody telling me that something's on sale. And they have already assumed that I have a relationship with them and that I'm going to buy because I've bought
Hmm.
from them in the past. Your clients are a little bit different in that potentially I've never met this person or I've never actually bought anything from this person. So why is I would assume the way that you're saying it, that you can't sell something in every single email, that there needs
Yes,
to be something else.
exactly.
Like, what kind of stuff do you have people talk about in order
Hmm.
for them to pay attention to the sale?
Yeah, totally. So, as you said, it's not about selling every email. It's about also giving free value and having that reciprocity, because why would they buy from you if they don't know you, if you don't have a connection? Well, they might, but it's if the your products are, more of the high ticket sales, or if you have the products that are also um in other stores, like the local stores, why would they choose you?
Yeah.
And that connection, that relationship is what would differentiate you from your competitors. And that's why, just it's also about caring, showing that you care to your customers, your the people that you like, your audience who follow you. Because a lot of times, like, social media could sometimes feel like, you know like the ads and all that, it could feel a bit salesy. But when it comes to emails, my mission and what I help my clients with is to sell without selling.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So this sounds like a really, on your part, a lot of communication is needed and you really need to know your client. So what kind of, like, before you decide to work with somebody, what kind of things do you need to know about them?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And I am quite picky with the clients that I work with.
Good. We all should be. Yeah.
And first of all, I want my clients to be someone who has, like, who really care about their customers, because that's number one. And it's not just about making money for them, it's about making an impact to the world. And like, they really should believe in the product that they're selling, that they're offering. And I want to also, I should also believe in that, because, in what I write, those are the things that I would be conveying to the readers. And so, that's one criteria for my clients. And another thing is, I want them to be someone who is really open to communication as well, and like working closely with me, because I work hands on with my clients. I don't just write emails and I ask them about, um like, their tone of voice. And like, we actually also have these things called alignment calls,
Oh, okay.
because yes, because that's where we kind of have a checkpoint and see if, our work is aligning with their message and with who they are, if they feel completely good about it. And when they send it out to their subscribers, does it really feel or sound like them? Those are the
Mm,
things that, some of the things that I really consider before working with a client.
I love that. I love that. If I could switch gears really, really quickly, because as you were talking, my thought is that you're probably working with a lot of clients who are older than you.
Yeah.
And you're the space that we're in, you are absolutely the youngest person in our spaces. Is that common? Are you mostly interacting with folks who are, who are maybe millennials or Gen X or even boomers? Like you're operating with older generations?
Yeah, mostly, but actually I do have a client who is just 2 years older than me.
Love
So
it.
we're both Gen Zers, and
Right.
we're in the same generation, and we understand each other very well. And we're also good friends that we met through Instagram, but
Awesome.
we never met like face to face yet. But yeah.
That's okay. A handful of my
Yeah.
best, I like one of my upcoming TED Talks, I swear, is going to be there is no such thing as real life and online life. Like there's either offline life or online life. Relationships are real wherever you find them. Um,
Totally.
and that's just the myth of like that everybody on the internet is fake is so 1995. It just isn't the way it works anymore. So
Totally.
I love this though. So, but I mean, obviously, if someone's going to hire you, then they are open to the idea that wisdom is not what comes with age and skill set is not what comes with age. And so they can work with you. But for anybody who's watching this and you're like, I don't know if I could ever hire a 19-year-old like that, what, what do you say? What do you say to them that, how do you respond to that kind of criticism?
Well, honestly, if they're not open to hiring me just because of my age, then I think that we are not a fit to work together because, it's nothing personal, but maybe they're also just looking for someone else or, someone who could, who they feel like could really do their work for them or like someone who's in their generation. And like, I'm okay with that. But for the people who hire me, I believe that they choose me because of my determination and my hunger for learning and
Yeah.
improving because I've been in the personal development journey ever since I was like early teenager years,
Yeah.
and I have committed to it, like really really committed to it when I was 15, 16 years old, and to the point that I actually left the traditional school to homeschool and really focus on my personal development journey and just really learn more about my mindset and something that comes with it is also I started to learn more about marketing, psychology, and so I would say that I'm pretty much an old soul when it comes to that.
I love.
And mhm.
It's fascinating. There's some parallels in our lives because I definitely started the personal development thing when I was in my early teens, like 10, 11, 12, and it was a lot different when the world looked differently when I was 10, 11, 12. But I love this idea that learning is something that happens all the time, both about yourself and about the world. And I'm glad you were able to see that the system in the Philippines wasn't what you needed, and the formal system there isn't great. Is formal education something you're thinking about going back to in any way, or is this you're just going to be a student of the world? What's your plans on that front?
Honestly, I just prefer being a student of the world and like being on a self education journey because that's what made me have results in my life, and that's also what's helping me actually deliver results to my clients, like what I'm doing in my email marketing and like my copywriting business right now are things that I haven't exactly learned from formal education. Like no shade on the formal education and all that, because those are also needed for the people who want to be like doctors, lawyers, engineers, and all that, but it's just not something that I want. It's not the path that I want. And when it comes to the direction that I want to go, the best path for me is to learn from mentors, to learn from coaches, and from the people who has already been where I went, from who has already been where I want to go. Like for example, let's say Dan Locke. If you know Dan Locke, he actually started as a copywriter also in his 20s. And I'm learning from his courses, his programs to enhance my copywriting skills. And also Marie Forleo. She's like also a master copywriter, and I'm learning from the things that she has already done. And I'm trying to save speed, or like, it's like I'm trying to buy speed from those people because I don't want to waste my time trying to figure it out on my own when some people when people has already been where I want to go, and I just want to know from them and learn from them and kind of pick the things that I can adapt also in my journey until I can create that path for myself.
I absolutely love it. What are the big dreams here, Lynelle? Like what's the big goal?
Yeah. So right now, I see myself building like a copywriting agency in the next 5, 10 years. So that's one of my big goals. But at the same time, I also have this vision of being a catalyst when it comes to revolutionizing the educational system through self-education, because that's something that I truly believe in, and I have been observing and noticing that our world is shifting in such a fast pace, and we need to have that an education system that would really help us bring results and not just be a hardship on the students, or just stress them out, but actually something that would help them become better versions of themselves and to help them discover who they truly are so that they can really make the most impact that they can in the world.
Yeah. I I'm a big fan of formal education for a whole host of reasons, including that there are elements of discipline that need to be kind of taught and learned, and of course, but if it doesn't, like, you learned a lot of those lessons already, so it makes total sense to me that that's not something that needs to be a part of your life. But excuse me, I am as somebody who did like the PhD thing and all the grad school things, like higher ed as an industry is going to burst. The bubble is going to burst, and we need to kind of figure out what formal and informal education looks like next, because we can't lose wisdom and we can't lose like the experience of sitting around a table and really wrestling stuff out, or time set aside to learn, or things like that. But we are going to have to be revolutionary in how we think about it, because it got too big too fast, and so now it's just saturated and it's not going to work for the way it does for very much longer, because you're right, the financial burden on students is not insignificant.
Absolutely. And I agree with you. I do have friends as well, actually, who are really like they want to pursue like masters and PhD. And I fully support them with their decisions because that's the path for them. But as you said, there are people whose path is not that path. Like they have a different path. And I think the revolution that comes with that is being able to kind of have that discernment, or helping students to have that discernment, like which path is best for them and which path is most aligned with them and with who they are.
I love that. I love that so much. Is there anything else before we go? You have so much, such a different perspective than a lot of my viewers, I know. And so I want to give you a chance. Is there anything else you'd love to share with us about your journey, or what you wish people would know about your life?
Yes, there is one thing that I wanted to share, which is I actually have this code that I want to share, which is be bold enough to use your voice. Be
Mm,
brave enough to listen to your heart, and be strong enough to live the life that you've always imagined. And that is something that I've always hold in my heart, because for me, when I decided to leave the traditional education system, I was pretty much in like I was not in the best state that I am, and it was in a way kind of like one of those low points in my life,
mm,
and also like mentally, emotionally, because when I was in school, I was an honor student, and like like that A+ student who always has who people expects a lot from, and like for me, it's like I've always had this internal pressure. Like it's not that they're pressuring themselves, like their expectations on me, but it's something that grew on me because like the subtle ways, like since I was a kid, it's like um there has been identities that has been imposed to me, even though that's not really who I am. And I needed to unlearn those things
Oh,
and
the
to really
unlearning is such a process. Yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
It is such a process, and I'm still going through that process. It is a never-ending process, I believe. And um, I think for me, it's also choosing to transform instead of
Mm.
just conforming to the world and having that courage to do that because it's not easy, but when you choose to do it, it's worth it because that fulfillment that you have in doing what actually lights you up. And it's not always an easy road because even though I love what I do, there are always going to be obstacles in that. And I would need to have the patience, the perseverance, and the resilience to continue going through this path that I chose to. But I think what's really important to keep in mind is to really be open to the changes that is coming to our lives because even though changes can be uncomfortable at times, it can really give us the most profound things or like things that we have never expected in our lives or would actually make help us create a lasting legacy.
I love that. And what a absolutely fantastic place to end so that we can absorb everything you just said. Um, Thank you so much for joining me. Listen, folks, if you've loved everything Lynelle shared, make sure to hit that thumbs up on the video. It really does help all of us. If you enjoy the channel and would love to hear more conversations like this, subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss a single thing. We talk about empathy in all different forms all over the show. If you like book reviews and getting your education and new ideas in the written form, like I do, we have a sister channel called Abby Research Reads where we discuss lots and lots of different kinds of books and what we can learn from them. However you interact with us, we're grateful for it. We love to have conversations with everybody, not just people on camera with us. So make sure to comment and tell us what you think. Lynelle, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you for
Everybody,
having
if
me.
you want to get in touch with this educational sponge and social wonder, all of her links are going to be below wherever you are encountering this information so that you can learn more from her as well. That's it for me on this edition of Welcome to My World. We will see you guys next time.